As I mentioned in the speech, and I'm sure you know by now that the governor issued his proclamation, we were actually waiting to see if he was going to, because had he submitted it in time, we were going to convene the special session as well, but the proclamation came too late. So we will convene it very shortly, and probably our first order of business will be to do that joint convention that I mentioned, where we'll bring both houses together to talk about the fiscal crisis. And the problem is a $28 billion problem. The problem at hand is an $11 billion. So we felt that what we did last week would have gotten us out of the immediate emergency and put us a few months into the next budget year. We will be back at the table examining, but I just have to tell you, though, that I was very disappointed. I mean, I realized you guys might have characterized it as a drill, but I was hopeful that given that last week we proposed $8.1 or $8.2 billion of very devastating cuts, as well as over $8 billion in revenue, I was hopeful that some of the termed out members would have stepped up. I was also hopeful that when the governor declared the special session right before the class termed out, I was very hopeful that maybe, there were some votes that he was going to be able to persuade. So, I'm going into this year, we now only need 3 votes. Last week, we would have needed 7 or 8. My request to the federal government for discretionary cash was certainly within the context of us getting our own house in order, and that means cuts as well as us coming up with revenue sources. I believe that the people in the Assembly, myself and my other colleagues, understand how significant this is. I think it's the governor's role to declare it an emergency, but I also think it's the governor's role to help. And I think that one way it would be very helpful for him to participate would be in getting to know the members of his party and persuading members of his party to vote for a budget. Now, I will tell you, just one last thing, I will tell you that one of the reasons why we want to have this joint convention and have the treasurer come, the head of the Department of Finance, as well as the controller, is because we want to make sure that all 80 members of the legislature are very clear about the crisis we face. Because, after you're up here for a while, it kind of is mechanical, and if you're brand new, you don't have anything to compare it to. And so to make sure we're all on the same playing field, that's the reason to bring us both together.